Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we're testing a few new bits. I have a couple of new bits, but I guess the main standout for this video is the Unicorn Cosmetics Angel palette. I did pick this up just before Christmas, so sorry it's taken so long. But this is the look that I've created. I've also tested the Rodial Soft Focus Drops, the Wonder Beauty Trip for Two Blush and Bronzer Duo, and I've tested a NYX Butter Gloss. Can you believe I've never tried these before? But I've tried it. This is the final look. My opinions are kind of scattered throughout the video with a really small conclusion at the end. So if you would like to see how I created this look as well as my opinion on the products, please do just keep on watching. Everything on my face will be linked down in the description box. I did just quickly skip over everything that wasn't new to keep the video nice and short. So if you are interested in what I'm using, it'll be in the description box. But other than that, if you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up makeup videos twice a week, and if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. It is free to subscribe and it makes me very happy. But other than that, I'll let you enjoy the video. Okay, so the main star of today's video is of course the Unicorn Cosmetics Angel palette. Let's open her up and have a look. This is the inside of the packaging. I kind of wish this was on here instead, but you know, it's still absolutely beautiful. And then you open her up. Have you ever seen a more Effie palette? It's got greens, it's got pinks, it's got a couple of touches of purple in there as well actually. I've never tried Unicorn Cosmetics before, so this is going to be brand new to me. I'm very excited to try this. I will say I was so tempted to buy this palette for the longest time, and I thought, no, wait till you're ready. till you've maybe not got too many products in your collection. And then for some reason I just kept seeing Unicorn Cosmetics ads all the time. And I said to Jack, my boyfriend, if I keep seeing the ads, I'm gonna have to buy the palette. And then just before Christmas it went on sale on Beautybay for £15 instead of 30, and I said to Jack, I was like, I have to buy it. It's a sign from the universe, I can't ignore it. And he said, okay fine, buy the palette. He didn't really care whether I bought it or not, but it's just so pretty and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. So I'm going to insert some swatches for you now. So here is the palette. If I sound a bit weird, it's because I'm sat behind the camera, but I'm going to put all the swatches on my arm. As always, there is absolutely nothing on my arm. No primer, no foundation, no nothing. I'm going to put the swatches on. I'm not going to record it because my battery is low and flashing at me. So I'm just going to turn my camera off while I put them on my arm, and then I'll come back and show you them all. Okay, so here are the swatches, all of them. Starting from the top row, going from this way downwards, we have Dreamer, Blossom, Angel, Baby, Renaissance, Hope, Dagger, Ethereal, Darling, Cupid, Wings, Cherub and Saint. The last couple of shades at the end here, I do only do like one swipe, so these like pastel-y shades aren't showing up too well, neither are these two, but that's absolutely fine. The shimmers are looking phenomenal. I love them. And then again, starting from this end on the bottom row, we have Halo, 777, Utopia, Pure, Harp, Blessed, Eden, Harmony, Sweet Pea, Heavenly, Paradise, Romance and Thorn. This one was a little bit powdery, but that's absolutely fine. It worked well on my eyes. I think I used that shade. I'm filming this a couple of weeks later. I can't remember what I did. I remember that this shade here I used on my eyes, the shade Eden, and I did have to dig at it, and as you can see, it's not swatching very well either, so I think it is just pressed a bit too tightly because the other shimmer shades have swatched beautifully and I love them. Overall, I'm still in love with this palette. I haven't actually used it since filming, but I still have 1,000 looks I want to do with it. I just haven't had time because I've been filming loads and I have exams and work and stress, but I promise I will get some more looks up with this soon. So hopefully by the time this video goes up, I will have some looks done with it. But those are the swatches. Enjoy the rest of the video. And now let's zoom in and make a start. I'm going to try and use as many shades as possible as always. I'm thinking kind of a split look between the greens and the pinks, but we'll see where we get. Okay, so my eyes primed using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer. I do have some lash glue stuck between my lashes. This is the second video I'm filming today. It's the best I can do. So let's make a start. I'm thinking doing pink on the inside and green on the outside. So I'm going to start on the outside, and I'm going to start with the shade Thorn, which is down here in the bottom corner. Okay, that shade has gone on beautifully. It's really pigmented, it's stuck down really nicely. It is creasing, but that's just because of how I placed it, nothing to do with the shadow at all. I love greens, of course I'm going to love this shade, it's just beautiful. I love it. And now on the inner side, I'm going to start with the shade Romance. Okay, again, it has gone down absolutely beautifully, and that is a very me shade. I love my pink tones. It's not straight up pink, it's almost like a nudie, sort of almost cooler toned, I think, but it looks beautiful, especially next to that green. They're looking beautiful together. I'm loving it. Back over to the green side, and I'm going in with the shade Sweet Pea down here. Okay, so that shade took a little bit more building up, but that could just be because it's a lighter shade. Absolutely fine, it looks gorgeous. It has blended very easily with that first green shade. I'm very happy already. I think now I'm going to switch back to the pink side and kind of finish up the pink side completely before coming back to the green side. So now on the pink side, I'm going in with the shade Baby. I'm not sure how well this is going to tie in with the pinks, but it's the next shade I'm going for regardless. That is a beautiful shade. It's almost on the lilac side, but not quite. It still is kind of pink. It's blended really nicely with that first shade. I'm quite enjoying this so far, in case you couldn't tell. I was going to go in with the shade Blossom, but because that Baby shade is sort of pulling it a tiny bit more lilac, I'm actually going to go in with this shade here called Darling. I really like that shade. I'm really liking this sort of pinky lilac inner side that we have. It's so pretty. Also, I've just been looking at this palette, and I just want to say, I've tested a lot of palettes recently, and this is nothing against the other palettes that I've tested, but it has been a while since I've looked at a palette and felt this inspired. Every time I look down at it, I'm like, this shade would work with this shade, and this one would work with this one, and that's an eye look, and this is an eye look, and I just think that that is phenomenal. I understand this isn't going to be to everybody's taste, but for me, this is really giving me a lot of inspiration, and I can imagine I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. Anyway, that was a little side note. Let's carry on with the green side. So the next shade I'm going to take for the green side is this one called Paradise. I really like that shade. It's come out a little bit more yellow, a little bit more chartreuse than I was expecting, but that's fine. I actually quite like how it looks. It just looks a little bit different than it does in the pan, but that's fine. All I'm going to do now is just go through all of those shades and just blend them a little bit better. I'm really enjoying this. The shades are just all blending beautifully, looking amazing. Oh. And I'm loving the colour scheme. We all know I love these sort of split looks, and I think this just looks amazing. I'm kind of wondering if I need to darken the crease a little bit more. I'm thinking if I can take a dark brown through the whole crease, because there isn't a black in this palette, which I would normally complain about. But I know that with this palette, it's not the vibe they're going for. It is more of that spring, summery sort of colour scheme. And they have got dark browns, and there is a dark green. But yeah, I think I'm going to go in with a dark brown. I'm going to go in with this shade here called Harmony and take it all the way through the crease. Yeah, it did exactly what I wanted. It just darkened it up a little bit. I don't really want it to be fully black, so this has worked really nicely. What I'm going to do now is just really quickly cut the crease, I think. I think I'm going to cut the crease just so I can get a beautiful payoff on one of these shimmers. I've still not swatched the palette, I do that afterwards, so I'm really hoping the shimmers are good quality because I'm so happy with this so far. But let's cut the crease, I'll do it off camera. Okay, there we go, cut crease on. It's not perfect, who cares? Let's pick a shimmer. I'm not gonna lie, obviously this like green shade is calling my name, but I'm thinking I kind of want to go a little bit lighter than that. I'm kind of also drawn to the blue. I'm also drawn to the mint shade. I'm kind of just drawn to all of them. The gold looks amazing. I'm going to use this shade Angel on my inner corner. The ones I've got on my fingers are Cupid, Cherub, Harp and Halo. I think Cupid is a bit too different, so we're going to call that one off. The gold is a bit basic, not in terms of shade, just in terms of colour scheme. So I'm kind of thinking, let's go for this one. Let's go for Halo. Let's try wetting it. Okay, that's a lot better. I was starting to get a bit worried, but it actually looks really stunning. I did have to dig at it a little bit and I did wet it. I feel like I went a bit overboard because I was worried it wasn't going to work. You don't have to dig at it as much as I did. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go in with a little bit of that lime green shade that I'm excited by, just to blend it with the greens a little bit. That's my excuse to test it out at least. And I'm also going to bring in some of those mattes to just sort of blend it all together a bit nicely. Okay, as I thought, I love the green. However, I do think you actually do have to dig at the shimmer shades a little bit. It could just be that they're pressed a bit too hard, but that's fine. They do work. You do just have to sort of loosen them up a little bit before you can get that full payoff. But I am in love with this eye look, in case you couldn't tell. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, catch up the other eye. I'm going to also do my brows because I have no new brow products to test. And then we'll come back and start doing the base because I do have some new base products to test. Okay, I'm back. Brows are on, looking a little bit more symmetrical. Let's quickly do a rundown of the palette now. And then I don't have to do final thoughts at the end as much. I like the palette. I think the mattes are stunning. The shimmers, a little bit difficult to work with. They look amazing on the eyes. They've worked fine. I just really did have to work with them. I did have to dig at this shade quite a bit to get this payoff. I also had to dig at the green shade, and now it's kind of got like a hard pan situation, so I'm gonna have to fix that. So yeah, I'm not disappointed because they look amazing and you can work with them. You do just have to put in a little bit more effort with them. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. It could be my fault, but I think maybe they're just a bit tightly pressed. They need loosening up a little bit, but that's absolutely fine. I love the look I've come up with. This palette gives me a lot of inspiration. I'm getting a lot of thoughts about it. They're all good thoughts. So overall, I'm really happy with it. I will put on the shade Angel on my inner corner in a little bit, and we'll also do a lash line. But for now, we're going to do some base products. But overall, very happy with this palette. Okay, and to start, I do have a new primer to test. It's an expensive one. This is the Rodial Soft Focus Glow Drops. These came in the Glossy Box Advent Calendar. I think they were day 24. They look like this. They look very similar, or I imagine they're going to be very similar to the XX Revolution Metallics pink dropper thing that I tested in January. Ooh, no, there's no glitter in it. It kind of just looks like pearlescent. So let's just take some on my hand. It does have a scent to it. I think it smells nice. I'm not 100% sure about it. First thing I'm noticing, I can still smell it. The smell isn't bad, it's just not my favourite. It has definitely given me a sheen. I don't know whether I like this much of a sheen. Oh, it's dried down, but it's also giving me quite like a tacky base, which is quite nice. I can still smell it. It's a very strong scent. If you're sensitive to scents, this is not for you. It doesn't come out pink on the skin, I don't think. It has just given me a nice sheen. It'll be interesting to see how my foundation sits on top of it. And I will be using my Project Pan makeup in this video, so I know how it all works. Unless I have something new to test, I'm using my Project Pan makeup. I hope that's okay with everybody. I just want to test the products with products that I know work well. So let's put a foundation over this. Completely off topic, but I don't understand how people do their brows first. I spent most of that time trying to make sure I didn't erase the brows I've already done. The primer has definitely given the foundation more of a glow. You can see it. I'm not used to being this glowy. The question as to whether or not I like it is a completely different thing. I don't think it's that bad. It's not too much, but this is kind of how I would expect to look after I've worn my makeup all day long. Fair enough, I haven't powdered it, and I don't think this, so I've used the Revlon Colorstay. I don't think this is a particularly matte foundation. I think it's just like a normal finish, if that makes any sense. It doesn't state that it's got a matte finish, so I imagine if you were to put a matte foundation over this, it would dull that shine a little bit more if that's what you wanted. I can still smell it. I don't know if maybe I'm only smelling it on my hands, but I can definitely still smell it. I think it looks fine. Let's chuck on some concealer and powder, and then I have new products to test. So we'll quickly do those. I'm completely mattified down now, and I still think my skin has a nice sheen to it. It's not as oily looking as it was before I powdered, which is quite nice. So now let's test a new blush and bronzer. I have this. It also came in my Glossy Box advent calendar. It is the Wonder Beauty Trip for Two Blush and Bronzer Duo, and it looks like this. We have Bellini and Colorstay, I think. They both look a little pale, but let's give them a go. Starting with Bellini. Okay, I quite like that. It's more pigmented than I thought it was going to be. It's a very nice shade for me. It's sort of that sunburny type shade which I tend to go for. It looks very nice. I don't think it really goes with this look, so that's fine. It's fine. I can live with that. We're now going to test the bronzer in Colorstay. Okay, as expected, it is a very subtle bronze colour, even on me, and I'm very pale. This obviously would not work if you have darker skin tone. The blush is really nice. I think it has a little bit of a glow to it, but that could be the primer. I'm really thrown off by it. I will say, looking at my face right now, I am liking how it looks. I think the primer has worked well. The blush is nice. I just think it doesn't quite match this eye look, but it does look nice. The bronzer was nice and subtle and worked really nicely. I do have to put on a highlight of my own, so I'm going to go in with the Soph one. Okay, I'm going to quickly go back to the eyes. I'm going to put the shade Angel on the inner corner. And I'm thinking I'm going to pull some of the purples along my lower lash line. I'm going to start with Dagger, and then a little bit of Dreamer, and then maybe a little bit of Wings as well. So erring more on the blue side, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, that Angel shade is stunning. It is so different. It has like a white base but almost like gold glitters in there. The blues work really nicely. I will say they didn't work as nicely as the ones on my lid, but I'm going to put that down to the fact that my under eyes are completely set and my lid was wet, so that's fine. What I'm going to do now is go off camera, do lashes, mascara, all that stuff, and then we'll come back and test a new lip product. See you in a moment. Okay, so there we go. I went for a relatively small lash. Not that I don't think this look could handle a much bigger, more statement lash, but I kind of just want to be able to see the look. And I'm going out after this with this makeup on, so I feel like a big lash would be a bit too much. But now let's try out a new lip. These aren't new, but NYX very kindly sent me this as a Christmas present. In case you didn't know, I've been sort of working a little bit with NYX every now and then, and they do send me a few things in like a gift sort of to test and review sort of thing, and they sent me this as a thank you for all the work I did for them last year. I'm not going to keep all of these. I'm going to try one today, and then the rest I'm going to decide whether or not I want the colour, and then the ones I don't want will go into future giveaways. I think I'm going to test this one today. I think it will go quite nicely with the inner pink, this one here, because it's a bit cool tone. I didn't say, these are the Butter Glosses by NYX. This is the shade Angel Food Cake. I don't know if it's going to need a liner, but we're going to try it without, and if it needs a liner, that's fine. I'm going to take this off because I'm not going out with a gloss and a face mask, so we're just going to test it by itself today. Okay, I quite like the shade. It does work really well with that shade on the inside of my eyes, those sort of pinky tones. It's very, very similar. These aren't as opaque as I would personally want for a opaque gloss. I quite like high pigment glosses, but this is sort of an in-between. It has pigment, but you can still almost see my lips underneath, which is kind of nice. I feel like a lip liner would help these a lot, but they are easily wearable by themselves. I quite like how it looks right now. I would go out like this if I didn't have to wear a face mask, but I do, so I am going to swap it for a matte liquid lipstick in a moment, but I do really like this. But there we go, those are my final thoughts. If you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. It's free, and I put out makeup content twice a week, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of this look, what you think of the palette, what you think of everything else I've tested. If you have any of these products, also let me know. But other than that, I will let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.